Well, now we do have a bit of some things to talk about this evening. Pip, pip, and Cheerio, and all that nonsense. Hey, I cracked JVL, so I win.
Wanker.
Shh, We're gonna
Although when they
listen.
started chanting that last night, my first thought was, "Wait, where's Ted Lasso?"
It's gonna be that kind of show. I already know it. But hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Progressives, the Progress Wrestling Post Show Breakdown Squad here at BC WrestlePod. My name is Mikey. I am the corner. That's me in the spotlight, losing my religion, if you will. But I am here to lead the full panel. We have a full panel for this one. Oh my gosh. Thank you, wrestling gods. I have been praying and my prayers have been answered. So we got the whole crew tonight. So first and foremost, starting things off, we have Gene Mutton himself, JVL, up in the top. So happy to have you here, sir, and welcome back. So we went
Hey,
from
I'm happy to be
AEW
here. I have not
shenanigans.
left this week at all.
For reals, you have not. And guess what? You're gonna be back doing it again next week. I'm just kidding.
Oh yeah.
Snap into it, Slim Jim. Oh yeah. Anyways, I just saw this man yesterday during our NXT review, our post show. So the Kilt Man is also here making his progress, debut, so to speak, because this is your first progress show that you're going to be breaking down with us because you didn't come to the last one.
Hey, that was partially not my fault. I just didn't have enough time in my week. But hey, I'm making progress to get back on the team. So
Boo! Boo this man! Boo this man!
you forget one very important fact about my title down here. I am the Pleat Father. I have to have good dad jokes.
Nah, we're going to boo this man.
You can boo me all. You can boo me all you want. I take it as pride because I know it makes you cheer.
Yes, it does. So Kilt is making his progress debut. JVL is here making his second return to the foray. But guys, we could not be complete with Progress Wrestling. We had to bring back an OG to the Progress Wrestling team. The man who started this with me last year, Andrew, is in the house. God, I've missed your face, and I'm so happy you're here, Andrew.
I know it's weird. I half prepared my dice for this meeting because that's all I've been seeing you, Mikey. But I'm happy to be here. It's been a while. I've been keeping up on it, so it's been fun. But I'm excited. I've missed doing some reviews with y'all, so I'm excited to join tonight.
I'm so happy. And even if it's just like one of the few times this year all of us are together, I will take it. No, but I'm super excited. And boy, what a chapter to have everybody here because we are here tonight to break down chapter 190 in Brightest Day. I'm very upset that there was no Green Lantern cosplay. I'm looking at you, Chuck Mambo. Sunshine Machine, you usually come through with the superhero gimmicks, but it
Or
is
Simon
okay.
Miller. I mean, come on.
God, Simon, this is crazy.
I still think
I,
Simon Miller was a Red Lantern. I'm pretty sure he was.
I, we'd love to see it. Anyways, so we are here, like I said, chapter 190 in Brightest Day. Before we get into all of the action, I do need to go through the intro bits, which includes, telling you that if you're new here to BC WrestlePod or you've been rocking with us forever, welcome. Or if you're new, hi there. I don't know how you found us, but I'm glad you're here. And stick around. YouTube, Twitch, and Kick is where you can catch our lives, as well as some other fun stuff. And the YouTube edited videos go up the next day. So if you want to listen to our shenanigans, but not have to spend an hour and a half going through our rants, it is condensed for you in a really nice, digestible way. But we also understand that time is a construct and not everyone has enough of it. So if you're looking to interact with us, but in a more bite-sized, manageable way, the social media is the way to go. We are pretty much on all your favorite social media sites. You could just pick one to follow us there at BC WrestlePod. And that is where you're going to find the report cards, the previews for these shows, predictions leagues, where I am spanking everybody right now, but not by much. It is a close call. Uh, there's a lot of people in this group right now that are on my ass in different prediction leagues. So it is crazy. And yes, I meant it as such. Bite me. But
As long as
guys,
it's all
there's all
consensual.
Yes, it is all consensual in this really weird relationship that we have with each other here. But we also have some merchandise available, and our new designs are finally uploaded. I stopped procrastinating and actually knocked it out in a whole entire weekend, as if I don't already do a lot. But no, we have the designs for our regular, program, including, the 2026 edition of BC WrestlePod stuff. And this weekend, I will slowly be uploading the international brands and the other brands that are not in the US. So I really enjoy it. It is fantastic. It is a great time. But last but certainly not least, guys and gals and non binary pals of the internet, we pay for a lot of streaming services. There is so many streaming services out here, and we do it because we love the content. But if you would be so kind to help us, if you are able to, no pressure, ever so often in Twitch and YouTube in the comments, the coffee bot will be jumping in, and you can donate. Send us $5 our way, and it will help us, pay for the streaming services, be paying for these AEW pay-per-views because they're the only company we still be paying pay-per-views for. But honestly, it's worth it. I'm not even gonna lie. And then I'm also looking at Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling coming up in March. I'm like, oh, my wallet's gonna be screaming this spring. But it is okay. I'm really happy. I'm so excited. And, just if you can donate, cool. But if not, we love that you're here. All right, now we got the boring stuff out of the way. Let's talk about why we're here. Let's talk about some British wrestling because
Yeah, let's talk about Defy.
God, I'm not gonna lie
Let's
though.
talk about the one that Succubus started. I mean, what?
Succubus is great. I'm not gonna lie though. I'm excited for this Defy and Dragon Gate crossover over, the Mania weekend in Vegas. That shit gonna slap. And we'll probably be covering it in some capacity. But right now we're here to talk about Progress Wrestling. Progress,
Evolve, sure. Yep. Okay.
yeah. So Progress, I got beef with you though for this episode because last time you gave me the full from a production standpoint, you gave me the full landscape versions of the cars. It was so easy to put together, and you did not have this for this one. So I had to go back to the tried and true method. As Andrew knows, we have very cropped out, portrait mode of these photos in a background on Google Slides. So
Mikey, are you surprised with the fact like they had such problems with their sound on this one too? Where like
oh
they
my
didn't have
god, I was
commentary
so
for the first like 10
irritated.
minutes.
Okay. That was just for this episode because
That was not a choice. Yeah, they definitely went to like a backup audio track to get somebody on there.
I will say Progressive is pretty often the commentary is at a very different level than like the in-ring mic and the area mics too. It's always kind of an issue. They used to have an issue too of delay, so you would hear them commentating on things and then they would happen in the ring. And then this whole card started off with like 5 minutes of like no signal.
This was a rough go. This was a rough
They had a
one.
rough one getting in there.
They had a rough one. Yeah, I like to chalk it up as Progress having the CMLL problem where their audio leveling is out of whack. Like intro music is blasting my speakers and then it lowers itself. I'm like, get it together, you guys. This is 190 chapters. Get it together. But I will still watch you because you're great.
And they're always in this like they're almost always in the electric ballroom. So it's
I know
it's not like you're traveling or anything.
I was just like, now this Friday show for the Love of Progress is not in the electric ballroom. So if they have audio issues, they're like, okay, bet. Guys, do we need to come over there? We have a whole army of theater nerds right here who can help you fix that issue real quick. And a technician too.
You know, it was a theater nerd that base was like, we are losing everything everywhere. Set a mic up in front of the speaker for the screen for in the actual like room. We're gonna get something off of this until we can fix it.
Oh man. As much as I complained though, I was like, I'm gonna still watch you Progress because despite the tech issues, I really like the wrestling. But I would also like the tech issues to be fixed because it enhances everything. And then I'm telling you, man, the tech issues are really holding my report card grades from going any higher because I'm like, the in-ring is good, but I need presentation to be better.
I mean, it felt like they were pulling all the audio from commentary because that's all I could hear. I could barely hear the crowd, so That's one of the reasons why it was such a slog for me to get through, is because I couldn't feel the crowd. I couldn't hear it really. Everything was coming through whatever the commentator were pulling. And it was really it, I wanted to enjoy the first match. But the 5 minutes of stream will return soon, and then it's halfway through the match. I'm like, I have to watch this. I can't skip out again on my buddies. I can't. I have to get it through. I almost shut it off and said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna watch anime and do something else."
It was okay. I'm not gonna push back on it because we got a whole episode to get through. So I was just like, okay, alrighty. Well, I mean, let's talk about it. So for those of us that either got to watch the full thing or came in about 5 minutes into the match, this is what would kick things off for us. Of course, we have the amazing twat himself, Charles Crowley. Love him, hands down. Love him. He's great. And at the time before the show, he was going to be facing a mystery opponent. And I'm just sitting here and I'm just like, all right, Progress, what are we about to do? So Charles Crowley makes his entrance. I'm waiting. I'm waiting. I'm waiting for this feed to return. And then we come back and we find out that Charles's opponent is the one and only Drew Parker. And I'm just like, oh, Drew, I love you so much. And I'm just sitting here and I'm like, I don't think we're going to see the darts, but I'm not going to say they're not going to come out at some point. Listen, my GCW brain and my Progress brain need to be switched on and off because it is two different things. But yeah, Charles Crowley versus Drew Parker. I love Drew so much, man. I love Drew so much.
I have never seen a man in tights so afraid to touch a monkey.
When I think
that
of good,
that was funny. A chant I'd never expected to hear. Rub his monkey. Rub his monkey. Am I hearing this fucking right? I
Welcome.
Just so I can clip it.
Need to watch more indies.
For reals. Watch more indies, Kilt, but welcome to Progress because the Electric Ballroom crowd will always give you the best chance.
I need to talk to my DJ buddy out of Sanford because he supposedly gets to hop on a couple of local wrestling groups and have a commentary fun time. So I'm gonna have to figure something out.
Who knows? We might see you at the Electric Ballroom one day. Anyways, all right. Starting with you, Gene Mutton, or actually Andrew. I see that microphone going off. You got what? What are your thoughts?
I mean, technical issues all aside and everything. I mean, I wanted to be excited to see Drew Parker there, and Mikey, you and I have talked about this before, but Drew Parker is one of the best wrestlers to be the guy that always loses to everybody else. So it was, especially with how they're kind of building Crowley up, and they've been building him up for the last, like half a year or so, really putting him, kind of figuring out where he fits. So that was kind of a bummer there. It's just I knew what the outcome was going to be. But again, both these guys are really good. So it was a solid match. But it just, because there wasn't a ton of build to it, I kind of knew the outcome, and then the technical issues, it did take a little for me to kind of get into it, and by the time I was enjoying it, it was over.
Yeah, it is unfortunate. I was like, this was fun, but I was like, well, I know what's going to happen. I love you, Drew, but it's not going to happen. Anyways, JVL, what did you think of our opening contest?
Yeah, I'm with Andrew on this one. You knew the outcome to begin with, even knowing who Drew was and being able to see like, oh, it's not just a jobber coming out. This is going to be something fun. And I think they knew also from backstage that things were going wrong, so they tried to play things out to like give time for everything to catch up. Hence why the chanting and like really playing up the beginning of it. I had seen Charles Crowley in Mystery Wrestling last year, and so seeing him win a match was weird. But I was excited to see where his character could go, because it seems like this was more, he was allowed to kind of like flesh out who he's standing for, what this is. So I was really excited now to see, okay, if he's beating him this easily, is he moving on in the tournament? And what's the next step up here? Is he taking on Bullet at some point in like some sort of squash match? Like, what's going to happen with this? But I'm very happy to see him on my screen.
I love the character of Charles Crowley. I think he is fantastic. But yeah, opening contest, Charles Crowley does the win. I wonder if we're going to see him in a super strong style 16 opener, especially given the fact that he didn't get to participate last year due to injury, which unfortunately me and Andrew saw, and we were mad disappointed. Oh, it was such a bummer. I was like, oh my God, yes. Oh, he can't participate. He's not medically cleared. No. Anyways, so here's hoping he's doing some really great work in I forgot what the full name is, but it's the cabaret wrestling in the UK as well. Where
Lucha Vavavoom?
I mean, no, that's not it.
That's the one
Anyways,
in Vegas. Never mind. Yeah, sorry.
I was
That's
like,
a
what
good
are
name. Hold on. Can we pause for a moment? That's
Oh,
a good
God.
name.
I have friends who are burlesque dancers that have performed at that. They do half burlesque, half wrestling in the ring. It's amazing, and it's out in Vegas, I think. If
we
not in
also
LA.
have these lucha raves in California apparently now, where it is a full EDM concert with lucha libre going on as well. Oh, we need to find one of those. Anyways, let's keep going because we got lots of other wrestling to talk about. So we go from our opening match into, I guess we could call this like a heated feud of some sort. This has been the really weirdest feud, and I'm kind of in here for it. But this is culminating in a first round match for the men's Super Strong Style 16 tournament. And of course, it sees our favorite internet wrestling personality, Mr. Clean himself, the bald man of the hour, Simon Miller. Why is he here? He'll tell you why. And he is taking on a very busy man that we have seen over the last couple of weeks, JVL, in Mr. Josh Holly. This has been such a weird feud, but I've been here for it.
I'm so surprised that Josh had time to actually come down here and do this. He has been all over the map lately.
For reals. He's been popping up in every British wrestling show, independent and major, and mystery wrestling too. Where I was like, how did he survive the floor is lava match? It's crazy. Anyway,
He didn't. He did not survive. Remember, everyone except Rain Leverkusen died in that match.
God, I love Rain so much. Anyways, so I have to say, Andrew knows this. I haven't been the biggest fan of Josh Holly because I feel like I've been wanting to see more from his. And I was like, okay, Josh, I take a little bit back of what I said. I actually kind of like seeing you wrestle here. But I'm gonna be completely honest. It's Simon Miller. You never root against the bald man. I love me some Simon Miller, man.
Yeah, I just love every time that Simon Miller comes out because he's such a fan of professional wrestling. But it's like every time he comes out, he just builds up the match in such a way that makes you go like, he's good at this. He's not just good about talking about it, but he's like they say, he's a student of the game. He studies it. He knows what he's doing. He knows how to do it. He goes out there and he works well with all of the different opponents that he's faced. And I thought this match was really good. It was really fun. They was surprisingly hard hitting, which Simon Miller's matches often are. Even when there's a lot of comedy bits to them. But I like that this was a little more serious because of the feud, and because there was the high likelihood that Simon Miller was going to be continuing on in the tournament. I liked the way that they built it up throughout the match, that it wasn't just as it wasn't I was able to get into the match and not think about the likely outcome. I just watched it for the entertainment and for the action.
Agreed. JVL, what did you think of Miller versus Holly?
You're right on so many things, like getting the pad off the corner so early and having that be set up a couple different times. Also, Josh getting kind of rolled back in there by Simon before he chopped you again. Ow, that's gotta hurt your back and your neck when he went into that a lot. I also I was tuning in and out to commentary on occasion, obviously with the technical issues. They were a little bit over tinny and everything else, but I love that they set up, especially during Miller's entrance, how much like no, you talk about how people put him down. He's not done the time in the performance clubs or done the other stuff like Michael Oku has done, But then they bring up like, no, but he truly he's paying his dues. He's done all these things. He understands what it means, and he loves this so much, and is hysterical. So I was excited to see him wrestle, and they worked really well together. I think that they had a good chemistry to call a couple things, and that things when they didn't work didn't seem too off. It was really fun to see them work together.
It definitely was. Kilt, any additional thoughts to Simon Miller versus Josh Hawley?
I had one thought. It has nothing to do with the match itself. It just had to do with a comment JVL left last night in chat, and I couldn't remember who exactly he said. But my first thought was, isn't this a guy that JVL just compared me to?
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
I compared you to Saxon Huxley later on if he had lost all his
don't
body
worry.
hair,
We're going to get to him in a moment. We're going to get to him. We're going to get to him. And
I just saw a big bald man with a beard. And I'm like, wait. It's S name. I remember that much. That was all I remembered.
This guy, since we're already talking about him, right?
Oh my God. This match. Okay. I want to go up. Let me go first from this match. Because what the actual fuck? This is some incest Alabama bullshit that I expect us to have. This was also I'm dying that's his twin brother.
So let's break this.
My favorite part of that whole entire bit.
Can't you tell? How do you not know?
Kilt, you're so racist. Like, don't you see it?
Wow.
I totally see it. That's what's great about it. It's so amazing. I love it so much. Oh my God. That was literally the highlight of the match for me, was they're constantly having to remind us that's his twin brother. Like, dude, we know, we can see they look just alike.
And that, my fellow viewers, the last 45 seconds is how the story has been going for this whole entire Session Moth family in the last couple of months. So let me set this up, and then we'll talk about the actual match itself, right? So this is for the Progress Atlas Championship. This is Saxon Huxley, or excuse me, cousin Saxon Huxley, being, accompanied by Mother Session Moth Martina, taking on Gene Money and his twin brother Koga. I can't even finish the sentence. Oh man, this is stupid. But this is my kind of stupid in wrestling. And when you take away all the comedic bits, damn, this match was actually kind of hitting. I was like, well, shit, they're gonna beat each other up, and I'm here for it.
It was that's a joke of my own words. It was really good. I actually did enjoy this a lot. It was hysterical. It had great bits. I didn't have to dig too deep into the story until like later on, but then it's like, oh my God, there was some great wrestling involved. They do need to work on their camera work and maybe a little bit of lighting, but I'm going to leave that critique alone. I enjoyed this very much.
Awesome. Alrighty, JVL, what did you think of Saxon versus Mr. Money?
We knew this was going to be hard hitting because Gene, again, saw him first in Mystery Wrestling last month, seeing how much punishment he can take. And man, he took a lot of dick shots from Psycho Mike, so I don't know how he's walking. But seeing them work together was wonderful. There were a couple times where it was like you could see them setting up for spots, but like Huxley was still selling really well, and Gene was trying to get where he needed to be with all the craziness out around it. And then Session Moth selling like she sort of wants to go and like break something up. She's not really getting there, trying to set Koga up for all like, oh no, it was him. He was touching him, whatever it was. The only critique I have of this, and I there's nothing really he can do about it right now, Gene Money's outfit rolls down so much that whenever he's like supposed to be stunned by a big hit or he's been knocked around to something else, he's constantly yanking it up, and not in a comedic way. He's trying to put it back up where it's supposed to be because it's supposed to be above the belly button, and it just takes me out because it's like you have the presence of mind to pull up your pants when you're getting the crap kicked out of you. Just let them come down, man. Like, just deal with it. You're a comedy wrestler. We should be fine. But
I'm not loved it overall. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Now that you said that, I was just like, I'm looking at Gene Money. I was like, Gene Money, you need to take pointers from the Pokemon Scraggy, because he doesn't have that problem with his pants. Anyways, Andrew, what did you think of our big boy Atlas championship match?
I will say that that doesn't bother me as much because I see it so much in wrestling. Like Matt Tremont constantly fixes his overshirt whenever he's
Oh, that's
wrestling,
very
which
true.
Yeah.
which shout out to Matt Tremont. I hope he's doing all right. But and then
Fondos,
you see
EST.
wrestlers like fix their knee pads when they're supposed to be knocked down and like all that kind of stuff, which I see it all the time. I'm like, whatever, suspension of disbelief. We all know why we're here, all that kind of stuff. Um, I will say the match itself was good. Gene Money, for all his like comedic stuff, is actually a really good wrestler. Um, I I've been watching this whole family feud and everything that's been going on for a while, and I kind of feel like this phase of it was a little hastily done. Like Will Cruz, the whole Will Cruz thing is over and done with, and now they bring in more people, and the whole title change happening. Like it surprised me that it happened this quickly, and then at the very end of them, like, oh no, hey, let's be a family again, and all this kind of stuff. There was just a bit of it that I was like, I feel like you're trying to tell this story too quickly, or you're trying to stretch it out too long. Um, Especially because I feel like they could do a lot with any of these wrestlers. So I'd like to see something more from it, or them develop this a little better. But all in all, the match itself was good. I just think that it was either a little bit too much of what we've already seen, or just not enough developed.
Yeah, I have to kind of agree with you, Andrew, because I was genuinely surprised when Gene won. I was like, oh, okay. I'm like, I'm not mad, but I'm like, okay. And now that I think about it, I was like, I don't know if he's hurt or whatnot. I was like, we never got Saxon and Will's rematch either. And Saxon won that when they were both over in Pro Wrestling Noah. Like they were in Japan when this title exchange happened. And I was just like, we don't get a rematch. Okay, whatever. Or who knows? Maybe we will get it down the line. There's just some really odd storytelling. Don't get me wrong. I love everybody involved, but the story doesn't make sense in this phase or this chapter, quote unquote, of the Session Moth family history, if you will. But I still enjoyed the match. I really do love it. And like I mentioned before, Gene Money is your new Atlas champion. And we're going to see how long they are able to keep it together.
So do we think like Session Moth's been drinking too much, and this is kind of she's adding this in almost like a polycule type of thing, where she's like, oh, if we open this up more, obviously we'll have more success and we'll be closer as a family. Meanwhile, you got people losing things either way, and there's a lot of jealousy in between. It could be really hard at this point.
listen, Session Moth, we love you dearly here at BC WrestlePod. But if you're going to do this polycule thing, you need to take some notes. And look at us. We make it work. BC WrestlePod makes it work. No, I'm just kidding.
We are
No,
the most dysfunctional polycule I've ever met, and I have met a handful.
yes, you have. Anywho,
Giggity.
um, yes. Shout out to Session Moth, though. I'm super excited to see you in a couple of weeks because, girl, you have a challenge ahead of you. And Eve Battle Girl, like Eve Riot Battle Girls, you're gonna be taking on Rio at the show, and I'm just like, ooh, girl, got your work cut out for you. But we're gonna talk about a bunch of those folks a little bit later because right now, you guys, yes, ah! All my faves are here, you guys. I don't care what you all say. We'll fight. But this is a tag team match. Lyco's gym, specifically, Mr. I'm looking at you over here, Kid Lycos. I was like, we have beef with each other right now, but it is okay. But Derice has kind of found unintentional beef with Kid Lycos and by proxy, Kid Lycos too. And even though he's the unwilling participant in all of this, but we get a tag team match set up between these two. So of course it's Lyco's gym, and Derice needed to find a partner. And who should he find in a tag team partner? But now we play himself, Mr. Michael Oku. I'm like, damn, Michael, you've been busy over the last couple weeks too. Here in the UK, here in the States for Ring of Honor stuff. So I was excited for this match, and I was not disappointed. Progress the crowd, y'all did your thing. uh I'm also very interested because the ending of this match definitely sets up something very intriguing for the next chapter. But I'm going to throw it to JVL first. So, tag team match: Darice and Michael Oku versus Lycos Jim. What did you think?
First off, I love that Darius was checking that the mic worked multiple times backstage just before he came in to be sure he was able to do his entrance. The crowd was giving a lot to Oku. They loved that he was there. He was so happy he was back after his little excursion. The match was a lot. There was a lot of gravity that was left off. It was wonderful to see. Lycos 2 doing a lot of great work to kind of play that straight man in this entire match. I don't know. I've seen this built up from last week and the week before with how Lycos Jim is sort of breaking apart, but not. I got more confused at this point. I'm trying to think: are they gonna have Lycos 2 join Kid Lycos over to the dark side? Are they gonna like it? It seemed again muddled to me, and that took away from a bit of because they couldn't either not work together or have that moment where they would break apart in the match to let Oku and Darius have a bit back here. But really good heel work from Kid Lycos, and man like Darius doesn't need anybody on his side, but having Michael Oku just made it so much more fun. I don't know about anybody else.
I will say, as someone who also regularly watches Rev Pro, this was a big part of the show from this point on through the rest. I had to keep reminding myself which promotion I'm watching because a lot of these wrestlers have slightly different personas.
There's a lot of crossing the streams.
Yeah. But it's like Lycos Gym in Rev Pro is also going through a similar situation with the Slater Dojo and kind of trying to be tempted over to the dark side, as it were. So I'm always very confused as to like who's getting pulled over there, who's trying to not. I kind of like the idea that they're trying to work together. They're not like turning on each other, but they're still obviously Lycos 2 has like issues with the way that Kid Lycos is performing. I like that some of it has been like accidental. Like the initial hit against men like Darius was kind of an accident, but then he took advantage of it. So it's playing this very rough gray area where one's dipping one way more than the other. But I like it because they could swerve us either direction. I don't know if we're going to see a breakup because they've been together for a while, and it could be let's give them some other opportunities. Or you could take a character like Lycos 2 and have him go, fully joining Kid Lycos and have them become a heel tag team. And I think that could be a big change for them as well, too. So I just hope that they kind of play that well into the best payoff, but I kind of like that it's still kind of questionable. I kind of would like Kid Lycos or Lycos 2 to join him because I think that would be the more interesting choice because them splitting up because one's going heel and the other one doesn't want to is kind of a trope, and we see that very often. Also, I feel like we're kind of starved for really solid tag teams right now. So I'd hate to see another one break up.
Very, very fair.
It was also weird for me to see them work this way because when I first saw them, go figure, it was in Mystery Wrestling where they were actually baby faces together. It was strange.
So much different. So much. They're always. And I feel like that's just a thing across well, I don't want to say every international, but specifically the UK. Like we have seen Lycos Gym in 3 different iterations and 3 different quote unquote companies promotions. And it's just like it's a lot of mental gymnastics. I was like, okay, in here you're like this. Over at Rev Pro, you're like this. In Mystery Wrestling, your baby faces taking on some of my idols of subculture. But I really enjoyed this tag team match. I am also excited because Kid Lycos picks up the win for his team by pinning Darius, which, spoiler alert, sets up something for cause and effect coming up into March too that we learned today because Kid Lycos is getting a championship opportunity for Darius's title in March. So I'm like, oh man, that match is gonna be slap. I was like, oh shit, it's happening, you guys. It's about to be on like Donkey Kong. But this was a lot of fun. I will say though, for me personally, this match moving forward into the second half of the card, I was like, oh, shit's about to get good. I was like, the last half, this match plus all of the last half had me really, really excited. It was a kind of a slow burn to get there, but Brightest Day started to pick up from this match onward. Alrighty, so just like progress, we took an intermission. So we are going to take a quick intermission too, and we're going to talk about the rest of the spring for Progress Wrestling. Because holy crap, we are getting fed over the next 4 months. So of course, this week, and we're going to be breaking it down next Thursday, is for the Love of Progress 4. So we are not in the Electric Ballroom. We are traveling for this one, and we got a lot of fun matches announced for this. Of course, we are getting a women's first round match for Super Strong Style 16. Of course, the mean girl herself, Lana Austin, is taking on the ballsy badass Shotzi Blackheart, which we love, and we love her dearly here at PC Wrestle Pod. We're also getting some really fun matches. You know, we're getting Sanity versus the Young Guns, which is going to be an insane match. I'm so happy to see Big Damo back on my screen again. Also, it's been a while since I've seen Luke Jacobs in progress, grace my progress screen. So that's going to be fun. We're getting some 6-man tag team action. We are getting another promotions women's championship match where Session Moth is going to try to win that. So that's going to be a lot of fun. It's just going to be some good times and good vibes, and I'm really, really excited. But then we are back in the Electric Ballroom in March for Cause and Effect. We are getting Therese and Kid Lycos for the championship. We are also getting Mercedes Martinez in here, as well as this is her final year of being a professional wrestler, and she's retiring December 2026. Also, it was recently announced that, you know, our lovely Mercedes Martinez will also be at Effie's Big Gay Brunch this year as well. So I am so excited to see Mercedes. Speaking of Vegas, in April, the Progress Vegas show, where who knows who's going to show up. And as Andrew and I learned last year, anybody can show up. And we got some really good matches that weren't even originally scheduled, because it was really last year, Andrew. It was really fun to watch Mike D destroy Kudo. I was like, oh Lord.
Well, and
Oh
you also
man.
know it's not going to be sparsely attended. Those all of these smaller shows are selling much better than what's actually in Vegas right now. So get your tickets now because you're going to
They
miss
are
out on
pretty
it
much
otherwise.
almost sold out for all of the collective shows. It is insane. But we finish off the spring with one of my new favorite things. This was one of my favorite events of last year. Andrew knows this, but Super Strong Style 16, 2 days, May. And it's not just one tournament. Oh no, it is two, because we have the men's and the women's tournaments. So I'm like, I'm so excited. So yeah, these are the next 4 shows for Progress, and I cannot wait. So we gonna be here to cover all of this. Alrighty. So let's get back into the action, because we kick off the second half of In Brightest Day. God, this was just I was like, Bullet, I did not know that was your game. I was like, I like this. And just JVL, you know this from when we covered In Darkest Night too. We're on like a weird kind of like apology tour of some kind from Spike Trevay, given from what we know him as prior to where he is now. It's really weird. He's just like, you know, he's not full baby face, but he's like making amends. He is giving matches to people he has wronged. And Bullet, of all people, he has wronged the right hand man that was with him the whole entire time, going through him being a champion. And there were some emotional stakes invested into the buildup of this match between, you know, In Darkest Night to here. God, they beat the piss out of each other.
I didn't think anything could be more brutal than Damo kicking his ass last month, and
Seriously.
this was a lot, and the fact that it beat the apology out of him to where he's not apologizing anymore is a huge deal.
Yeah, I feel like
great.
this really is obviously going to build up to the kind of like trifecta match between the two of them. Um, it was super hard hitting, really entertaining. I thought it did a good job of constantly showing Spike trying to like overcome the size and them just going at it. I wasn't a huge fan of after the match of him coming up and being like, "Oh, you want me to be back as the Vulture and all this kind of stuff," and then he like went after him and then ended up getting beat down again. Um, just because I feel like it kind of like took the steam out of it. I feel like they could have either not fought again and just had him like say his piece at the end, or had him fight and then them like fight out of the space, or him overcome him somehow or something like that, just in a way that wasn't just a like, oh, you want me to do this? Okay, now I got beat up again. But I think that being said, it seems like they're setting it up for something bigger, which I'm excited about, and I really hope that their next match is some kind of stipulation match because I think that could be really fun.
It seems like we're headed towards some sort of either street fight or even a steel cage match, is what I've also been hearing too. So I'm just like, oh God, it's going to be brutal, but I'm here for it.
Fitting
Like
a
a
steel
last,
cage. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say, or like a last man standing
Last
match
man
would be
standing,
fun,
yeah.
I think that makes more sense just because, like, how you fit a steel cage in the electric ballroom that they, with the ceiling in there. I don't know if they could. I agree with you on that, Andrew. I do wish that, like, in my Booker head as I was watching, I was like, have him say his piece, and then Spike just kind of like slinks out of the thing, and then later on in the night, somewhere through, Spike throws him out back onto stage and is beating the crowd, like he's jumped him in the back basically to show that he's still got that thing, and then does that promo of like, you wanted the Vulture, I'll be the Vulture, and then he stalks out. That to me would have solidified it versus, oh, he's still not going to overcome this. Okay.
I think it's one of those things too, because I was just like, oh, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of forgot that Bullet and Spike Trevay were a thing. I was like, oh damn, that's right, I forgot. A lot has happened in Progress over the last couple of years, and so I'm excited for this. I liked Bullet when he first returned. I was just like, oh yeah, we don't have a lot of big power wrestlers right now in Progress, so this is great. But I feel like after this match, I was like, okay, I'm kind of a bigger fan now. I'm excited. And I do like that of all the things that happened in Brightest Day, one of these things is, oh, look at that. We're continuing some storylines that kind of make sense. So, whereas where I was a little let down with where we're going with the Gene Money, Session Moth family drama, as we call it, I am excited to see this progress. And I'm kind of hoping that we don't get the stipulation match quite yet, or if we do, it is like the second stage level of stipulations, and then we have to end with a rubber match of, this is the end. We're about to bleed all over the canvas kind of match. So I'm excited for this. Kilt, before we move on, any additional thoughts about the Vulture Spike Trevay versus Bullet?
I really thought one of them was fucking Bronson Reed at one point. Because it literally it's I had to skip because I was kind of getting bored of the promos, and I saw Bronson Reed, and then I skipped, and then I saw this man's face in my head. I'm like, what are you doing here? Wait.
Well, to be fair, a lot of the current I should say the current international talent in the Fed has made their way through Progress in some capacity. Bronson, Gunther, Tony.
Well,
Malachi.
I caught that they said, because they were talking. I think it was during the Atlas match that they caught themselves when they said William, and they said, "Oh, sorry, Gunther."
Walter.
Walter, yeah, Walter. It was the W name. I'm like, I saw what you did there. Okay, but no, literally, this was again. It was the point of me starting to lose focus trying to just like make sure I get the highlights so I know. And I'm like, Bronson Reed, the fuck? Oh, okay, cool. He won. Moving on.
Alrighty. So let's keep this going because we've got two more matches to talk about. Chuck, I can't take you seriously in this picture. I'm like, I cannot. I love Sunshine Machine though. So in our semi-main event, this is a Tornado Tag Team Championship match for the Progress Tag Team Championships. Of course, the challengers being Sunshine Machine, Chuck Mambo, TK Cooper, taking on, Diamond Eyes, which apparently we're using the Freebird rules now because I'm like, Jake Joshua, I was like, oh damn, it's over. I was like, as soon as I saw Jay Joshua come out, I'm like, well, shit. The Sunshine Machine boys are gonna have a really rough go. So I was just like, now I have questions. Where was somebody unavailable or are they legit hurt? Because I'm like, but then again, in Darkest Night, JVL, as we saw, and for all of us, Jay Joshua is now officially with Diamond Eyes, so I guess we can figure out which two members are going to be
Well,
defending the titles.
and this is another match that threw me off too from Rev Pro because
Right.
first of all, Sunshine Machine and Rev Pro are heels, and they lost the machine part and they go by the machine, or they lost the Sunshine part and they go just by the machine now. And then in Rev Pro, Connor Mills and Jay Joshua used to be Mills and Joshua when they were in the tag team tournament, and then recently they've been introduced as a tag team as Diamond Eyes. So I think it's official faction of some sort that includes these three.
Oh man, I'm so excited. Anywho, so let's talk about this match. Guys, I have one complaint about this. I don't know if it's because of the structure of the entire show, but I was like, I felt like this match was too short for me. I was just like, damn, like I felt it was really short.
I don't know whether that was because of the different partner styles or whether, because I remember, yeah, last month Diamond Eyes like took their time and really broke down their opponents. This was just like power, 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 break, Sunshine Machine down. I blinked and this was done. I was very surprised by this. I don't know about you, Andrew.
I I honestly, I think, and I love tornado tag matches. I like when they have a different style to them too. I appreciate the differences that you have to do in order to like be able to participate in those. But I actually would have liked to have seen this, especially with Joshua being a part of this match. I would have preferred to see this as a classic tag team matchup. And I think even if it went that length, that it did, I think it was like just over 10 minutes. Um, I think it would have felt more in depth. We would have gotten to see things because I think there were times when we lost some of the stuff because you were trying to watch so much action happening around, and especially because it was in different areas. So I think that may have taken away from it because it was like there was too much going on that you just got lost in it, and before you knew it, it was kind of that was it. So I think this matchup especially could have benefited from it just being a standard tag team matchup.
I see your point, Andrew, and I actually kind of think about it too, because I'm not gonna lie. I was expecting like the OG members of Diamond Eyes to be in this match, but of course, with Jay Joshua being a part of it, I'm like, huh. And I'm not saying that the more power-based wrestlers can't do tornado tags, but if this is going to be at least for us in progress, it's going to be the first time we see this combination of Diamond Eyes defending the titles. I do agree that maybe a like classic tag team championship match would have be better in order to showcase this combination of Diamond Eyes. I mean, I still really enjoyed the match. I am still bummed that it was really short. um I would, because given the fact I was like, we didn't even clock in the double digits. I'm like, what is going on? I also am trying to figure out where we could possibly go next with well, okay, let me back that up. When I was watching this show, I was trying to figure out where we were going with the tag team championships, given the fact, Sunshine Machine lost. Lyco's gym is busy running around with Derice and crew. And so I'm like, where are we possibly going? And then my question was answered later in the week, as JVL knows this, because we learned, or we were told earlier in this week, that the match between Sanity and the Young Guns is now a number one contendership match for the tag titles. So one of those two teams will be facing Diamond Eyes for the championships in the near future. And I'm like, okay, progress. Thank you for answering my questions. I appreciate you. So Diamond Eyes is still the tag team champions. I still really love their presentation. I want that coat so freaking badly. It is just extra, and I love it. So we move on to the main event. Do I have to say anymore? Like, best match of the night, don't care. And Alexis Falcon, you fiend! Holy shit, man! After the match was crazy.
Mikey, all you have to say is the referee's in trouble. The referee's in
Yes.
trouble.
I, you know, I'm not always a huge fan of like shenanigans, especially when they start to get a little long in the tooth. But the way that they both played it up every time like a ref got taken out, like you, they did a really good job both times of having the camera on Rio and like seeing her reaction, and then watching Alexis Falcon in the back, and the way these two talked to each other and interacted from the beginning when they were trying to be friends, and then how things kind of turned, and then just it was so good. The as they say in the UK, the fanny punching was hilarious. The interaction between the two of them, um, it yeah, it was really entertaining, really good. I like the way that they did it. They played it up really well. Alexis Falcon is someone who I hadn't seen her before she made her return, and now again I've gotten to see her in multiple UK promotions. And this match was really good. This might have been one of my favorite Rio matches um, of the last at least half a year. And Alexis Falcon is really good both in the ring and then also just her presence work as well as her physical work is great.
Riho was having fun. So was Alexis. You could tell they were having fun doing this. Mikey, I had to stop it a couple times to go, is Evil Uno booking this match? Because this really feels like it's straight out of Mystery Wrestling. Just having seen Rio do this, we need to have them come over to there and do it because they have such good comedic timing, and yet they don't play it funny. They play it so straight, and it works so well. Oh, I was hooked this entire match.
Once again, for the second time in 2026 in progress, not only do the women main event a chapter, but it ends up being my personal favorite match of the chapter itself. Last one last month was Alexis versus, Rain. This time it's Alexis versus Rio. God, Alexis is just she turned heel after this, and she is playing the long game because I'm gonna just read you her tweet that she wrote right after this match. In progress, made sure to screenshot this and the Instagram story that goes along with it. So Alexis Falcon tweets on her social media, "Thank God, I'm finally free for the burden of pretending to like any of you fugly dumbass fans anywhere. The wicked bitch of wrestling reigning, nature is restored. Crying emoji, heart emoji." I was like, oh God. I was like,
That
oh
goes
shit.
that goes along with the motion she did to the crowd after she beat Rio. So
Also, she posted also on Instagram on her story with the picture of her like sitting on top of Rio after the match. And this is what she has to say. "See, Rio, you see what happens when you talk shit to me? The falcon, a bird of prey, goes on the hunt, and you have been hunted." I'm like, damn. Oh man, I'm excited to see this version of, well, I mean, this is will be really be the first time I see this version of Alexis Falcon, but I'm like, a heel women's champion that is not Nina Samuels is kind of great. I have to no, I can't say that because Nina won us over, Andrew, at the very end of her reign and before her final match in the loser leaves progress match last year. So she won me over. But damn, the wicked bitch of wrestling is here, apparent according to Alexis Falcon, and long may she reign. Long may she reign. Oh man, this was such a good match. And once again, the Progress women's division just knows how to put on bangers. Like, oh, it's so good. Once again, women's wrestling is going to be carrying us through 2026 for all these promotions, not just Progress, because I said that last year. Women's wrestling carried every promotion for us last year. But, gentlemen, that is it for In Brightest Day. I will say, after putting in Darkest Night and Brightest Day together, because thematically they go together, I will say I preferred in Darkest Night a little bit better. I still had fun within Brightest Day, but I did like in Darkest Night just a wee bit better, but this was still a solid one. Well, don't touch that dial though, because it's like usually we have to wait a whole nother month for the next progress one, but we'll literally be back next Thursday because guys, we are reviewing and we are breaking down for the Love of Progress 4. And I'm just like, good God. Well, at least I will be here. Some form of the rest of the crew will show up if they're able to, which, they have lives. So, but I will be here for sure. And whoever else can join me too. But I gotta thank the panel for being here tonight. Kilt with his ADHD ass, JVL, who is enjoying the honeymoon phase of Progress Wrestling, and then of course the OG Titan himself, Andrew. I am so happy that you are here and you were able to make it this one. And here is hoping, knock on wood, that we can get you for some of the other stuff that's happening. So, but it was a nice pleasure to have all of you boys here. But that is going to be it for us here tonight at the Progressives. We got one more thing this week, though, and gird your loins because I liked talking about this. I'm really excited to tear apart TNA No Surrender tomorrow. Well, here's the thing. I enjoyed some matches at TNA No Surrender. I was a little disappointed with some of the results, but I was nowhere as heated as Will. So I am excited for our heated angel of the week. Will, he has a lot to say, and he is coming in hot, especially with a certain daughter of a Santino Marella dethroning the women's champion. And once again, NXT has the TNA Knockouts Championship. Ah! We have a lot to talk about tomorrow. So if you want to see me and
Because
both, yeah.
TNA is the ROH of WWE.
I mean, you're not wrong right now. We'll talk afterwards because I was like, why do I still watch this? Oh, wait, because it makes good content for us on the internet. But that is going to be it for us tonight. We're going to get up on out of here because the four of us are going to try to catch up for a couple of minutes. But thank you so much for tuning in. We will be back next Thursday to break down for the Love of Progress 4. So from all of us here at BC WrestlePod to you at home, remember, take care of yourself, love one another, stay iconic, and more importantly than anything, you always deserve to finish your story. We will catch you tomorrow for our breakdown of TNA No Surrender. But until then, sayonara, adios, and until next time, peace.